Happy Friday, happy weekends. Welcome to All Levels Yoga, ending in a guided 10-minute meditation. Just notice what you're feeling energetically right now. Does your body feel a little tired? Maybe start lying down on your back, sort of in Shavasana, or come to sit, or come to stand. Maybe you want to be in a forward fold or just stand upright if you're feeling pretty alert. So we're going to continue with the theme of grounding this whole week. And I've cited different sources on ways to ground, what it means to ground, from a men's health website to a women's health website. Now, this one is from Positive Psychology, and it's from the background of mindfulness. So within the field of mindfulness, grounding refers to the ability to return to the present moment with sustained attention. Through the act of grounding, the individual intentionally directs their attention to the present moment by focusing on an item, feeling, sensation, or thoughts. Grounding techniques are compelling and work well to counteract the intense negative sensations of anxiety, panic, trauma, and stress. Mental grounding techniques use methods that are primarily of a psychological and cognitive nature, for example, counting slowly or reimagining a previous experience in great detail. Physical grounding techniques use methods focused on external stimuli such as sensations and perceptions related to information that exists in the external environment. For example, exercises such as stretching or physical yoga. Concentrating on tactile sensations, which is putting your hands under running water or rubbing your fingers across different fabrics. And then the third, soothing grounding techniques, describe methods that use kindness and positive sentiments, like empathy. We've had compassion meditations before, that help induce a sense of calm and relaxation. Examples include thinking of people whom you love, or repeating a positive statement to yourself. And then this article went on to common difficulties when we're practicing mindfulness or meditation. We've had a few conversations after our yoga class recently, so this is kind of what inspired me to share this article. The common difficulties are a wandering mind, boredom, and in more extreme scenarios, the monkey mind. And explains that it's an especially agitated state where attention jumps rapidly from one thing to the next, like an excited monkey. 4 basic mindfulness grounding techniques that we'll definitely apply in our practice today. 1, intentionally choosing an object to direct your attention towards. 2, a body scan. That will be part of our guided meditation at the end. 3, focusing on your breath. And here in yoga, we go a step further and utilize different types of breathing to direct how energy is flowing, life force is flowing to our bodies. And then 4th, becoming aware of external stimuli. So if you are on Instagram or Facebook, I posted several more, a list of different ways to ground, because we all adhere to or we veer towards different modalities as we're unique beings. Some of us are very visual learners, some of us more tactile, more auditory. So having a variety of tools in your toolbox for when you get overwhelmed or when you just need to feel calmer can be so helpful. And here in the practice of yoga, we integrate so many, hoping that these tools are more easily accessible and we remember that they're within us when those occasions arise. So now, if you're not already, please find a comfortable seat. Shift around, maybe rocking side to side, and literally feel the ground or the surface that you're sitting on. The entire weight of your body as much as you can, and allow your weight to spread more evenly to your left and right sides, your front and back sides. And then externally orienting, perhaps slowly gaze around your environment, the space that you're physically in. Just allowing your senses to become more aware of what's here, right under your nose. Perhaps you smell something where you are, you feel the temperature of the air. And if you feel ready to, close your eyes. And as you feel what you're sitting on, feel the stacking of major joints of your body above that. So your pelvic girdle, and then above it your shoulder girdle. Vertebra of your spine from the base to your cervical spine at your neck. Observe how your skull sits at your cervical spine, and perhaps even gently move your head. Feel into any sensations in your neck or your jaw, mouth or face. As you more intentionally root down, physically press downward to your body, let your spine rise and feel a little more space throughout your torso. Open your chest, lift through the back of your skull. And while you're getting a little bigger or taller in your body, find some softness too. Relax anything that might feel like it's tensing or has been carrying tension. Inviting a deeper breath in slowly. Feel the space that your breath takes up in your body. Pause at the very top of your inhalation. Dwell in that feeling of fullness. And let your breath create a sound, any sound, as you empty it very slowly. Pausing on empty at the bottom of your breath, where you don't lose the spaciousness in your spine, the uprightness in your chest. And then try a few more breaths like that, inhaling a little deeper, more watchfully. Pausing at the top just for a few seconds. Exhaling a slow release. Pausing at the bottom for a few seconds. I invite you to place your left hand on the center of your chest and your right hand on your lower abdomen, so you can actually feel vibration of sound as we chant one Om. Take a deep inhalation to prepare. Now, as you close your lips, invite your breath to smoothly enter and exit at an equal pace, in and out. And as you softly constrict the back of your throat, let's utilize Ujjayi Pranayama, the breathing technique that helps to keep the nervous system calm and the mind focused. So listen to the soft whisper of your own breathing. And as you softly open your eyes, make your way down into child's pose, bringing your feet together at the rear of your mat, knees together or apart. Allow your pelvis to drop heavily down to your feet, pull its weight. And as you rest your forehead all the way down, whether on the ground or on top of a prop or your own arms. Feel the waves of your breath rise, fall. You begin Balasana. Know that it's available to you whenever you're stillness and grounding. restful grounding. Now, if you're not already, actively extend your arms forward so that your elbows are not resting on the floor and your hands are separated, shoulders width apart. Keep your pelvis heavy towards the ground as you walk your hands slowly over to your right, reaching both hands outside of your mat to help lengthen the left side of your torso. Perhaps you imagine breathing a little deeper into that left side of your lower back, rib cage, armpit. And then carefully walk your hands through the center onto your mat, reaching over to your left side. And perhaps you're visualizing your breath and into the right side of your armpits, rib cage, and lower back. We had a request today to bring some relief and release in the lower back area. So let's start a bit more on that. Crawl your hands forward back to center, separating your wrists, shoulders width apart. Point your index fingers straight ahead so they're parallel to each other. Widen your fingers flat. And then separate your feet right where you are in child's pose so that your feet are a little wider than hips distance. Tuck your toes, keep your feet where they are, keep your hands where they are. And then with knees bent, lift your pelvis as high as you can and as far away from your hands as you can, entering downward dog. And then begin to swivel your hips to your right side, straightening your left leg as you spin your left heel flat onto your mat. Look beneath your left armpit towards the sky and then let your skull hang heavily. Lengthening your left side body, take a deep breath. Exhaling here. Then as you bend both knees, parallel your feet, slowly swivel your hips to your left side, straightening your right leg as you spin the right heel flat onto the ground, so left knee is bent. Look beneath your right armpit towards the sky, float your shoulders away from you. And relax your face. Hear the sound of your breath. Bend both knees a lot, return to center, paralleling your feet. And as you press the mat away with your hands, knees very bent, see how high you could lift your sitting bones. Press your chest back towards your shins. Rotate the outer sides of your upper arms towards the mat. Let your head fall as you steady your gaze on the ground towards your feet. And then let your belly firm inward towards your spine as you lift your sitting bones higher and firm the very front of your thigh bones back. Imagine arrows coming down the back of your legs, helping to sink your heels closer to the floor, even if they don't touch. Now let's stay still for about 3 more breaths here in Adho Mukha Svanasana, lengthening your back first and foremost. You're going to walk your feet forward about 1 foot closer to your hands and separate your feet about as wide as the edges of your mat, much wider than hips distance. Your feet parallel, keep your left hand on the floor or propped up on a block. Crossing your right hand to the outside of your left leg, catch hold of your ankle or calf, and then root your right heel more firmly into the ground as you, again, look under your left armpit. Spiral your torso, relax your neck, and breathe. Twisting, downward facing dog. Set your right hand down and let's root the left heel onto the earth. Cross your left hand to catch your outer right ankle or calf. Underneath your right arm towards the sky. Feel your ribcage gently turn. Try to keep your two hips balanced. Soften your jaw, neck. And from here, step your feet forward, lower your left hand at the top of your mat, and then separate your feet hips distance apart at the front of your mat in a forward fold. Bend your knees. Press your fingertips onto your shins or blocks ahead of you. And with knees bent, elongate your spine like the feeling of a flat back parallel to the floor. Gaze towards the tip of your nose and take a few more breaths, getting longer and longer through your sternum and the crown of your head. Belly in, shoulder blades back. Take one more deep inhalation. And as you exhale, fold forward. With your knees still bent, sweep your arms overhead and slowly rise as you inhale. Let your palms meet overhead, your shoulders relaxing down. Exhale, trace your thumbs down the center line of your body, arms by your sides, mountain pose. Spreading your weight to the four corners of each foot. Activate energy in your legs. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, bow forward, perhaps bending the knees. Press the ground of your legs and inhale, lift your chest, lengthen forward. Lower your fingertips outside your heels. Your left knee to the ground, untucking the toes. Keep your fingertips on the ground or blocks and slide your right heel forward another inch, maybe more, giving the top of your left thigh a little more stretch as you sink your pelvis towards the ground. Just take a few breaths, softening the fronts of your shoulders slightly behind your ears, melting them away from your neck as you broaden your chest forward. Feel a slight lift of your navel, drawing towards your spine and heart. Just one more inhale here. Flatten your hands on the earth and step onto hands and knees to enter 3 rounds of cat-cow pose. Inhaling, glide your chest forward and coil it, rolling your shoulders down. Exhaling, round your spine by contracting your belly. At your own pace, twice more. At the end of your next exhalation, tuck your toes and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Downward dog, hold still, steady your gaze. Let's take one cycle of breath. On your next inhale, raise your left leg behind you. But as you exhale, bend your left knee and rotate your left thigh open at the hip. Breathe in here and draw your right hip further back, lengthening both sides of your waist. Now as you exhale, round forward, bending your left knee towards your nose before softly landing the foot just inside of your left hand. Lower your right knee, untuck the toes. Keep your fingertips on the ground or on blocks and slide your left heel forward an inch or more. Let your pelvis sink towards the ground. Broaden your collarbones as you slightly lift your sternum, softening your shoulders down. Feel your belly draw inward towards your back body. As you take another in-breath, tuck your right toes. Exhale, step your right foot hips distance from your left in a forward. Press the ground of your legs. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms to rise up. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your center line, mountain pose. Let's add on a little differently. Inhale, raise your arms, but interlace your fingers and flip your palms inside out. Root your left foot down and exhale, lean to your right in a side bend. With your belly firm, inhale, rise to center, switch the interlacing of your index fingers. To your left, exhale, side bend, root your right foot into the ground. Firm your belly in, inhale, rise to center. Open your arms and exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Press the ground of your leg, lengthen halfway. Plant your fingertips outside your heels. Exhale, step the ball of your right foot back, this time a high lunge. Imagine as though you're scissoring your legs towards each other to create stability as you press your feet down and slowly rise up, arms overhead in crescent pose. With a little bend in your right knee, direct your tailbone downward and feel the shape of your pelvis orient upright as you balance your two hips face forward. Relaxing your chest. Just another inhale. And as you exhale, backstroke your hands to the floor, stepping into plank with knees on the ground or legs straight. Inhale in plank, gaze forward. Modified vinyasa, lower your knees as you exhale, lower your chin. Then slide your belly, pelvis, and legs to the ground. Coil your chest up as you inhale into cobra. Hug your elbows close to your sides. Press the ground away as you exhale to downward facing dog. Let's stay still for one cycle of breath. On your next inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhaling, bend your right knee, turn open at your hip. As you inhale, draw your left hip further back. Exhaling, round forward, bending your right knee towards your nose to very softly land your right foot just inside of your right hand. Stay on the ball of your left foot, high lunge. Energize your legs and root down to inhale, rise up, arms overhead, crescent pose. With a little bend in your left knee, direct your tailbone downward and slightly lift your frontal hip bones. Feel your two hips balance facing forward. Feel the length from your outer hips, up the sides of your torso, up to your fingertips. One last inhalation. As you exhale, backstroke your hands to the top of your mat and step your left foot forward to fold. Heel toe your feet together so they touch. Bend your knees together so they touch. Inhale, sink your weight back towards your heels, sitting in chair pose. Imagine your back tracing against a wall as you exhale. Lower your pelvis, catch the backs of your thighs, and take an inhale to lift your feet, flex together off the ground, boat pose. Another exhale here, lifting your chest. 2 more breaths. Maybe raising your arms forward if you like, or straightening your legs. Feel the lift of your pelvic floor, your sternum. With your exhalation, cross your shins, plant your hands in front of them, and step or lightly jump back to chaturanga. Perhaps you walk into plank, and then you lower. Forward facing dog. As you exhale, hips back to downward facing dog. We're starting a new vinyasa flow, so let's slow it down to set the route. Keeping your hips squared, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. By rounding forward through plank, and softly step your right foot just inside of your right hand, entering a high lunge. Root through your legs, inhale, rise up into crescent pose. As you exhale, backstroke your arms and coil your chest up in crescent pose. As you inhale, join your hands at your heart, or for more rigor, join your palms overhead and lean your torso forward into a diagonal. As you exhale, spin your left heel to the ground, align your right heel to the arch of your left foot, entering warrior 2, mill your arms apart, and center your torso upright between your hands. Now, warrior 2, let's hold a few breaths. Feel the wrapping of your right outer hip slightly beneath your body as you stack your front knee just over your ankle facing forward. Firm as you orient your pelvis upright with a steady gaze just past your right hand. Let's take 2 more breaths. Straighten your right leg, flip your right palm to face up, and sweep it overhead during reverse triangle pose. As you exhale, lower your 2 hands, frame your right ankle, stepping into plank pose, or as you breathe out, into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Let's take 1 cycle of breath. As you inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, round forward, softly land your foot inside of your left hand, crescent lunge. Inhale, slowly rise. Exhale, backstroke your arms, still in the lunge, coiling your chest up. Now here, choose to either join hands in prayer at your chest or add some rigor and extend the arms overhead. Lean forward diagonally, hovering your belly off your left thigh. Spin your right heel down, align left heel to arch of right foot, then windmill your arms entering warrior 2. Let's pause here and feel. Your left outer hip wraps slightly beneath your body. Top of your right thigh firm towards the left edge of your mat. Left knee stack above left ankle. Gaze past the left hand. 2 more breaths. Straighten your left leg and flip your left palm up. Sweep it overhead and lean towards your rear wall. Inhale, reverse triangle. Cartwheel your hands to plank and exhale, lower into your vinyasa. We could substitute with cow anytime, or skip and go straight to downward dog. Remember that, and you're responding to your momentary needs, listening to your body. You always have a choice when to rest, keep going, or even add intensity. Honor your truth. Let's take 2 more breaths in downward facing dog. So we're going to enter the same sequence in a continuous flow. Linking 1 inhale, each movement, 1 exhale, each movement, sometimes sustaining certain poses. But as you focus on the length, balance, and ease of your breath, trust that your body follows in this moving meditation. Bend your knees, look ahead of your hands, empty your breath, then walk or float to the front of your mat. Your feet touch in a forward fold. Then rise halfway up. Exhale, bow in. Let your knees touch. Inhale, bend your knees in chair pose. Press your feet into the ground and exhale, rise up. This is our period or the end of the sequence. So let's start the next round, continuous flow. Inhale, bend your knees, sit low in chair. Exhale, slowly lower your pelvis, catch the backs of your thighs or not. Boat pose, your own version. Take another breath in. Exhale, cross your shins, plant your hands in front, walk to plank or float into chaturanga, your choice. Keep going through your own vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. In downward facing, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, round forward, step the foot forward into a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Exhale, backstroke your arms, open your heart center. Hands together at heart or overhead. Inhale, lengthen forward diagonally. Exhale, turn left, align heel to arch, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale your hands to the earth, lower into your own version of vinyasa. Back, downward facing dog, side two. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, round forward, step it forward into a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Exhale, backstroke your arms, lift your heart. Inhale, lean forward, hands together, heart or overhead. Exhale, turn right, open up, warrior two, heel to arch. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your left leg, sweep your left palm back. Exhale to the floor, you choose, flow. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Rounding through movement. As you steady your focus on your breathing, can you create a feeling of inner stillness within the motion? Let's take one last round, same sequence, we'll wrap this one up. Bend your knees, look ahead of where you want to land your feet. On emptied breath, walk or float to the top. Feet touch, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold. Sit low in chair pose. Exhale to rise, mountain pose. Follow your pace of breath as much as you can. Inhale, chair, last round. Exhale, lower into boat pose. Inhale, lift your spine in boat pose. Exhale, cross your shins, plant your hands in front, walk or back into your vinyasa. Continue into downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, round forward to a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Exhale, backstroke your arms, lift your chest. Inhale, lean forward, diagonally hover. Exhale, open left, warrior two. Inhale, leg, reverse triangle. Inhale, hands to the earth, flow or no flow. Back to downward dog. When you're ready, side two. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, round forward, step into a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Exhale, backstroke your arms, lift your chest. Inhale, lengthen forward, hover diagonally. Exhale to your right, your two. Inhale, straight legs, reverse triangle. Exhale to the ground, flow or no flow. We'll meet in downward dog. Three to five breaths, body still, recentering. Let's prepare to wrap this up. Bend your knees, look forward. On emptied breath, land your feet lightly together at the top. This time, bend your knees, sink your hips, lay open your knees, lift heels. and plant your fingertips on the ground, at least a foot in front of your toes. Either prepare for crow pose, an arm balance, or into a stretch, a hybrid of child's pose and a squat by reaching your arms forward and bowing. If you're in crow, have your hands shoulders width, flat on the ground, arms parallel, hollow your belly, lift your hips high. Then hug your knees just behind your armpits, high on your upper arms. Look ahead of your fingertips on the ground, about 3 feet ahead, to help shift your weight forward as you push off the floor. For arms, the shelf you create. You choose to spring back into chaturanga and add in another vinyasa, or come into a standing forward fold. Your choice. Will meet at the top of your mat with feet apart, parallel. Take your time, you're flowing. If you are in a forward fold, you might want to clasp your hands behind you and just let your head sway, maybe your spine sway, as you lift your shoulders away from your neck and reach your arms forward. Breathe into your nose. Let's hear a loud exhalation, or you hear a loud exhalation. Maybe this time you flutter your lips, help ease the jaw of any tension. Breathe in. Let your lips go. And one more. Any kind of releasing deep exhalation, any sound you want to make. Now, perhaps you bend your knees, lift your toes, and slip your palms face up underneath the soles of your feet, entering Padahastasana. Stretching your outer wrist, forearms, hamstrings, lower back. Lots happening here. So shift your weight forward and breathe, pressing your heart through the gates of your arms. Hug your belly towards your spine and hinge even deeper from your hips. Let your head fall. Let your shoulders rise away from your neck, perhaps flaring your elbows apart. Or maybe even softly moving your skull and feeling ease in your cervical spine. Just a few more breaths. Slip your hands out from underneath. Bring your hands to your hips, point your elbows towards the sky. And then lead with your chest. Perhaps you bend your knees here. Firm your belly in. Inhale, slowly rise up. I'm going to face you as we enter a standing balancing pose, eagle. Bring your feet together to touch. I'm going to mirror you. Now let's start with the arms. Flare your elbows apart like wings, and then cross your left elbow over the right. Now either hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms and palms. Press your shoulder blades down your back ribs, but lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders. And press your forearms gently forward, away from your face. Feel your shoulder blades splay apart. Breathe into the area between them. Keeping a tall spine, firm your belly in and bend your knees together like chair pose, feet together. Feel a sense of hugging your midline with your hips. Now with your left arm on top, turn out your right leg, flexing the foot. Wrap your right leg over the left. If you're able to, add tucking your right toes behind your left calf and scissoring your right hip slightly back so both hip bones face forward. Now see how low you can sit, as that will help to ground in this balance pose. Feel that your elbows and knees trace your midline. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel balance in your breathing. We're going to play with our balance just a little bit more, keeping our weight just on our left foot as we enter hand to big toe pose. So as you start to rise up, unravel your right leg and catch hold of your outer knee with your right hand. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Keep flexing your right foot. Now take a moment to press into the ground with the four corners of your left foot and rebound and lift up through the center of your spine. Now you could keep your right knee bent and turn open the left arm, and here's your variation. Or if you want to try to straighten your right leg some degree, bring your right arm inside of the leg and clasp your big toe. You could also use a strap. And as you kick the right leg straight, you're pulling the big toe in, using counter forces to help lift your spine upright. And then turning out your right leg, open it slowly, just the amount that your spine stays vertically upright. Now, breath and in. Slow exhale. Maybe you add the if you need more time. Big toe pose. Hasta. Bring your right leg in front of you. Raise your left arm up. Get really tall for a breath. And then slowly step your right foot again. Arms by your sides. Mountain pose. If you need some movement, give it a shake or roll it at the ankle. Breathing in. So trying not to anticipate, but being right in each moment as it passes by. Practice bend your elbows apart. Cross your right elbow over the left this time. Either hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms in palms. Soften your shoulders down and lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders. Gently press your forearms away from your face. Belly firming in, sit low in chair. Hugging your midline, turn out your left leg. Flex the foot as you wrap your left leg over the right. Stay here or tuck your left toes behind your right calf and scissor your left hip slightly back. See if you could sit a little lower. Feel your elbows and knees stack down your midline. Breathing in, breathing out. And even when we fall out of these balanced, challenging poses, how do we use our own inner tools of grounding to keep our bodies and minds calm and try again? Falling is a great opportunity because it's often unexpected, just like life. So as we enter hand to big toe pose, you're going to catch your left outer knee with your left hand as you rise up to stand. Flex your left foot, right hand to right hip. Take a moment to re-ground through the four corners of your right foot and lift up to your center line. Now you could either keep your left knee bent as you open it and right arm out to the side, or if you're going to straighten your left leg some degree, bring your arm inside of the leg and clasp your big toe with your index and middle fingers. As you extend the leg, whatever degree, draw in your left shoulder. Remember the yin and yang, that's part of hatha yoga. Bring those counter forces into play to feel space and balance. With eyes steady, you could be looking past your right hand. So if you're using a strap, you could still bend your lifted knee and kick your foot against the strap. Make sure your hand is close to your foot as you're holding the strap, so you feel those counter forces helping you to align your spine upright. Take another deep breath here. Now direct your gaze forward and slowly bring your left leg forward. Right arm up overhead. Get really tall for one breath. And then slowly step your left foot next to the right. Now let's come into a wide-legged forward fold with the option to switch it up and maybe enter headstand. If you know that for your inversion, active, you prefer dolphin pose, downward dog, or perhaps asana or something. Go ahead and do that instead for the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, let's start with feet wide apart. Go out. Bring your hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders back. As you exhale, hinge from your hips. Bend your knees any amount you might need so that your spine lengthens rather than your fingertips down, and inhale, rise halfway up. Shift a little more weight forward, heavier onto the balls of your feet. As you align your ankles and your hips, bow deeper and see if you could walk your hands further back. So some of you might want to enter a spinal twist here, raising one arm to the sky, a few breaths and then switch. I'm going to walk you through for those of you that might want to try tripod headstand to whatever degree of getting into it. For tripod headstand, you'll want to walk your hands back so they past your ankles. And you create a triangular base with your two wrists, your two palms flat, fingertips facing forward, and the very top of your head on the ground. The elbows are bent back like Chaturanga, and you're pushing the ground away actively with your hands to help lift your shoulders away from your neck. Important to maintain the curvature and space of your neck naturally. Now, if you have neck issues, don't go any further. Otherwise, you could start to climb one knee onto one upper arm, or flex both feet and start to turn your pelvic bowl upside down as you engage your belly like you would in boat pose that we practiced a few times. Bringing your feet together, creating a vertical line. Imagine mountain pose as you flex your big toe mounds towards the sky and flare your pinky toes, hugging your midline. So whatever way that you are inverting or going upside down, let's take about 5 more breaths. We'll eventually meet in child's pose. When you arrive in child's pose at your own pace, place your arms anywhere that's comfortable for you to rest for another 3 to 5 breaths. And as you're ready, plant your hands on the floor alongside your knees and tuck your chin to your chest as you breathe in to slowly roll your spine upright. Bring the pelvis to the center of your mat. Grab a block if you have one, and just place it off to the side near the rear of your mat. Set your feet on the floor, hips width apart, parallel to each other. Extend your arms forward and take a few slow breaths to lower onto your back. And when your head meets the ground, pick up your right leg and turn it out, crossing your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Flex your right foot so you have a figure 4 shape in your legs. Thread your right hand in the triangular space between your thighs, and with 2 hands catch hold of your left thigh or your left shin and slowly bring your left leg closer to your torso, breath by breath, as your shoulders and head completely rest down. Note that flexing your right foot on top helps to stabilize your right knee as you're opening your right hip. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, set your 2 feet back onto the ground. Turn out your left leg and flex your left foot, crossing your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Thread your left hand in the triangular space between your thighs, and with two hands catch either your right thigh or your right shin, slowly bringing your right leg closer to your torso. Continue to flare your left thigh open. Head and shoulders relaxed. Take another breath here. And then set your 2 feet on the ground. You're gonna take bridge pose twice, with the second one optional upward facing bow, or take one long restorative bridge pose. Restorative bridge, use that block and place it across your mat underneath your sacrum, the flat part of your lower back, whatever height you need that lift to be. And you're in the pose, just right here. Active bridge, take the block and hug the skinniest width of it firmly between your thighs. Bring your arms down by your sides and have your feet positioned where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite that close. Then ground your feet and shoulders. Tilt your chin slightly back away from your chest and lift your pelvis while actively stretching your thighs forward for 5 to 10 deep breaths. Going deeper in bridge pose, slide your upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Keep your arms straight. If your hands meet, consider interlacing your fingers. Full breaths as this posture encourages deep expansion of your lungs. Imagine you're dragging your heels back towards your glutes without actually moving them, so that you're activating your hamstrings as you lengthen your tailbone towards the space between your knees. And when you decide you're finished with bridge, use an exhalation to carefully lower your upper back, middle back, tailbone last. And if you're going to take active bridge for your last round, then just pause here, hugging the block between your thighs for 3 breaths before you take it again. If you're going into upward bow, I'll walk you through that. Have your legs positioned the same way as bridge, but extend your arms towards the sky, flex your wrists. Bend your elbows and plant your palms face down alongside your ears with your fingertips slightly turned out to keep your elbows from flaring apart. Be conscious of paralleling your arms, shoulders width apart, just as like you're paralleling your legs and feet, hips width apart. Then lift your pelvis, breathe, energize your hamstrings, lengthen your tailbone forward. See if you can bring the crown of your head to the ground, shoulder blades move down your back, perhaps hands step a little wider apart. Then push off your hands and feet, and you're here for 5 to 10 breaths. Upward facing bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana. When you're coming out of Urdhva Dhanurasana, slowly lower the crown of your head to the floor. Then tuck your chin towards your chest. Then gently lower upper back, middle back, tailbone last. So try not to hug your knees into your chest once you finish whatever back bend you just came out of. Put the block aside and hug your right knee, just your right knee, into your chest. Slide your left leg forward onto the ground. Then slide your pelvis a couple inches closer to the right edge of your mat, preparing for a supine twist. Open your right arm wide and ground the shoulder as you begin to cross your right thigh over your body to your left side, turning your gaze towards your right wall. And as you ground your right shoulder, draw your right outer hip slightly forward. That's away from your torso and towards your left foot, tractioning your lower back. Take another clearing exhalation, perhaps a big loud sigh if you like. And roll back to center. Slide your right leg forward, bend your left knee into your chest. Then scoot your pelvis a couple inches closer to the left edge of your mat. Open your left arm wide and begin a twist to your right. As you gaze past your left shoulder, keep that shoulder down and send your left outer hip forward, away from your torso slightly. Another deep inhalation, any sigh, any sound through the mouth. Let it go, roll back to center, and draw your bent knees into your chest. Perhaps you rock side to side, or splay the knees apart in happy baby, or take a half a minute in shoulder stand, or lifting your legs straight up like an L shape. Let it be a relaxing posture that you choose. Help your nervous system even more deeply relax. Carefully lower your entire body into a position where it can feel supported, to be still and completely effortless. Now might feel very soothing and grounding to place a pillow or a heavy or weighted blanket right on top of your pelvis. Close your eyes. Feel symmetry in your left and right sides, your hips, your shoulders, your arms, and your legs. Perhaps you take one last deep exhalation before letting go of also controlling your breath. As you let your body remain in this position of Shavasana. For those of you that are staying, we'll begin our 10 minutes of guided meditation while lying down for this body scan. So as your body lies to rest here, and it continues to breathe in its natural pace, feel the points of contact between your physical body and the surface below it. Feel how your body's weight rests onto the surface underneath. Then in your mind's eye, bring your attention to your skull, feeling the weight of your own skull supported. Notice the muscles in your face, surrounding your eyes, the skin on your forehead. Feel them at ease. Feel your jaw relax and unwind as your tongue softens. Even allow your scalp to let go of any tension it might be gripping. Bring your awareness to the base of your skull as you trace your attention down your neck, feeling its natural curvature and space, even at your throat as your chin gently rests downward. Feel your chest broad, perhaps noticing a subtle rise and fall there. As your body naturally breathes in and out. Feel the weight of your left shoulder bone and trace your attention down your left arm, your elbow, your left wrist, your left palm and fingertips. Feel your left arm completely relaxed, leaning against what's beneath it. Notice the weight of your right shoulder. Feeling down your right arm, your right elbow, your right wrist, hand and fingertips. Completely relaxed. Now as you return to your spine, trace your awareness down your spine from your neck to your thoracic spine, around your rib cage. Feel the front and back of your spine and feel its natural curves, parts that lift away from the surface beneath, and the parts that sink down towards the surface. Perhaps even notice a little movement at your belly. As you relax your belly, feel the weight of your pelvis, your left hip. Trace your awareness down your left thigh, feeling the weight of your left knee, your left calf softening, your left shin bone, down to your left ankle. Notice how relaxed your left arches of your feet and toes are. Completely free from any doing. Now land your awareness on your right hip, feeling its weight and openness. Scanning down your right thigh, feel the weight of your right knee. Notice your right calf relaxed. Feel your right shin bone down to your right ankle. The arches of your right feet relax down to your right toes. Now I invite you to imagine as though you could breathe in from the soles of your feet, as though you're breathing in energy from the earth beneath you. An enlivening, enriching, rejuvenating energy from the earth. Allow your next inhale to slow down as you feel the breath in through the soles of your feet, entering your legs, rising to your pelvis, your torso, rising past your heart center, through your arms, down to your fingertips, up to the top of your skull, feeling fullness of life energy circulating through all ends of your body, and then let it go out to your lips very slowly, completely empty as the breath clears out any feeling of stagnancy, unnecessary tension, or heaviness. Try once more, inhaling through the soles of your feet. Feel life force climb up your legs, fill up your entire body. Allow a pause at the top of your inhale as your breath reaches your crown. And on your own, when you feel ready, slowly empty your breath through your mouth. Feel a sense of release and clarity. And perhaps try that one last time on your own. Invite a color, if you're more of a visual learner, color to your breath, perhaps a light, something warm and radiant and nourishing. Allow that light to also surround your body externally, emanating from the surface of your skin. Maintaining that light even as you breathe out. Allow your toes to enjoy some soft movements, perhaps your ankles, your feet. Perhaps your knees would like to bend. Let your fingers rub against each other. Feel that texture of your skin. Maybe circling your hands and feel relaxation at your wrists. Maybe your head wants to gently move. Anything that wants to start to wake up through slow and gentle motion. Be aware of what's moving and how it feels. Be aware of the space surrounding your physical body. As you eventually draw your knees together into your chest and roll over to your right side, resting your head on your arm or on the pillow or the floor. And just pausing here in this fetal position, taking your time to notice the effects of all these various grounding tools integrated in your yoga practice today. as you feel ready, pressing into the ground, slowly rise up, find a comfortable seat. Perhaps you join your palms at your heart as we close practice together, bowing in gratitude for the wisdom teachings of yoga passed on from so many thousands of years, still effective today, and all those before us that have allowed us to enjoy the knowledge of our bodies, our minds, mindfulness tools, and even our daily teachers, like our pets or the challenges that we overcome. Acknowledging all of life that supports us. Close with one Om. Take a deep breath. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.